Now, if I say the king in the car park to you, I probably don't need to explain what I mean. Well, now that story, King Richard III being dug up in a car park in Leicester, is a feature film. The only thing is, it has revealed an extra bit of drama that you probably didn't know about. Simon Vigart met producer and actor Steve Coogan and the woman who inspired the whole story.
This is starting to look like an unhealthy obsession.
I can't believe you just said that. I'm doing this for you.
The story of the king in the car park just had to be made into a film, and it has been. Telling it from the perspective of the amateur historian who made it happen, Philippa Langley.
You tell me what that letter represents.
Just means reserved.
Of course.
The real Philippa told me the interest 10 years ago was phenomenal.
Suddenly you've got this massive room and it's full of journalists, and that was a real shock to me, because you think, you know, Richard III, I thought some people would be interested. Certainly there's the Richard III Society, so I thought there'd be that interest, but no, it was quite overwhelming because it literally went global, it went international.
The king?
Yes.
Steve Coogan is the writer, producer and co-star, and he's rebutting claims from the University of Leicester that the film is a work of fiction. They're basically saying it's unfair, and the people who are alive now have been treated unfairly in this film.
Well, I would say that in this world, you know, what goes around comes around, frankly. Their treatment of Philippa post the discovery of the bones was, I think, a distortion of what actually happened. Really, they have had 10 years of putting their version out there with huge resources at their disposal, a huge PR machine that spun things in their favour. All we're doing is redressing that and telling the story from Philippa's point of view.
I will fight you all the way on this. I want to dig for Richard.
So you're comfortable with the portrayal? I mean, they say you weren't sidelined. They say you were put up in press conferences when they held them. They say they did fund most of the excavation.
Sorry, I want to jump in there because this gets my dander up. The dig was funded by Philippa Langley. Most of the money for the dig was funded by Philippa Langley with a small contribution of £10,000 by the university. The vast majority of the money was raised personally by Philippa Langley. She was the client. She employed ULAS to perform the dig. When some remains were found, some leg bones, the person who insisted that those bones be excavated was Philippa Langley. At that point, the Leicester University stepped in and funded the whole of the operation. Well, of course they did. She just found him. So I'm afraid that they've...
no, but I have to put it to...
Of course, absolutely.
Philippa, you're happy with the film, you're happy with the portrayal, you think it's fair?
Because the big conference where they were announcing the identification of Richard III, you know, that was live streamed by the BBC and all of that, I wasn't on that panel. I wasn't allowed to be on that panel. That was just for the university.
Steve is a big Labour supporter, so on this day of days, I had to ask this. What do you rate Labour's chances are at the next election? Because obviously things are pretty serious out there.
Well, I would say that I think someone said that I think it was in The Guardian. I read that as long as Keir Starmer doesn't fall over, literally fall over, he should win the next election. I don't think that it will be that if there is a Labour victory in the next election, it won't really have been that Labour won it. It will be that the Conservatives lost it.
Losing an election, losing a kingdom. It's the same debate down the centuries, although back in 1485, it was slightly more brutal. Simon Vigart, 5 News.